Just to update you, there's been somewhat of an investigation going on. We may end up having to close for a few days. I don't know. I want to emphasize, though, that it's really just a precaution. Fazbear Entertainment denies any wrongdoing. These things happen sometimes. It'll all get sorted out in a few days. Just keep an eye on things, and I'll keep you posted. Just as a side note, though, try to avoid eye contact with any of the animatronics tonight if you can. Someone may have tampered with their facial recognition systems. We're not sure. But the characters have been acting very unusual, almost aggressive toward the staff. They interact with the kids just fine, but when they encounter an adult, they just stare. Anyway, hang tight. It will all pass. Good night.
Hello everyone, my name is Kavin Catastrophe, and this is my Five Nights at Freddy hidden story. We are finally getting back to analyzing the retro CDs. I know, it's been so long. I truly miss learning about Vanessa. We have been a bit distracted lately, but learning about the spring lock suits and the illusion disc was essential to understand what type of company Fazbear Entertainment was and what kind of enemies they have inadvertently created for themselves. But now it's time to get back on track to learning what is happening in Five Nights at Freddy Security Breach. Before we begin, in my last few videos, when it came to analyzing the story of Security Breach, we have been using 3 different methods to try and solve it. And that was the tape logs from Fnaf Help Wanted, the emails from Fnaf AR Special Delivery, and the retro CDs from Security Breach. All 3 of those means had something in common, and that was their strong connection to Vanessa. Well, now we will add a new contender to the list, which is the duffel bags from Fnaf Security Breach. The duffel bags are, well, duffel bags spread throughout the entire Pizzaplex. These duffel bags contain messages of strange going-ons within the Pizzaplex, such as customer complaints, employees noticing things looking a bit off, animatronics acting a bit weird, and management making very questionable decisions. Another thing bizarre about these duffel bags is that they come in 3 colors. A red colored bag with a Fazbear Entertainment symbol on it, a green and pink bag with pink spots, and a blue bag with some retro symbols. It almost implies that these bags belong to 3 different people using them to communicate with each other throughout the Pizzaplex. Whatever the case, these duffel bags will now be used to help us analyze our next retro CD. So, let's begin.
Good morning, Vanessa. Let's jump right in, shall we? I got a message last night about you, and I have to be honest, it was upsetting. Apparently, the IT department has put together a pretty lengthy report chronicling non-job-related communications that have been coming to your computer. The fact that you're still doing something obviously not work-related on the job is disturbing enough, but what bothers me about what I read is that the messages you're getting seem very manipulative in nature. Do you know who I'm talking about?
I get a lot of messages from friends. I like when Lewis writes to me. He's funny.
I'm not talking about Lewis. You know who I'm talking about. Why won't you open up about it? What you might not know is that this person who's been sending you messages has been hacking into your personal files too. These are the same files I have here. These files are full of details about your life. Do you know what that means?
I'm not in the tech department. I just type on the computers.
I know that. But what matters here is that this person who is contacting you knows a lot about you.
Lots of people know more than I do. Sometimes I need to listen.
I can already tell this is going to be a long video. So it looks like Vanessa is still talking with the encrypted messenger, and Fazbear Entertainment is still unhappy. Okay, let's start with the therapist saying that the messages Vanessa has been getting seems very manipulative in nature. One, last time I checked, Fazbear Entertainment could not decipher these encrypted messages.
Routine check of your online history has revealed that you spent quite a bit of time with someone in an encrypted conversation. We have transcripts, and I've read them, but it's not clear what you're talking about in these conversations. I can't make sense of it.
But now this therapist is saying these messages seems very manipulative. So what's going on here? Were they finally able to decipher these messages? No. If they did, they wouldn't be asking Vanessa to open up about it. It would seem that these messages can be read, but once you read them, you're still incapable of making sense of them.
I get an email from Scott, and he says, hey, put this stuff in the game. I look at it all, I examine it as a producer would do, and I say, I have no idea what any of this means. And he goes, yeah, put it in the game.
The therapist is using her limited knowledge of these messages and is coming up with a theory that these messages seems very manipulative.
It's that the messages you're getting seem very manipulative in nature.
Yeah, well, you know, that's just like your opinion, man.
But the fact that she uses the word seems is her admitting that she is not 100% sure. She and Fazbear needs Vanessa to confirm what is happening in these messages because they do not want to assume. I like this. Assumptions can lead to a lot of unnecessary problems. Automatically assuming this mysterious messenger is evil because their messages seems very manipulative would be a huge mistake.
And to you, my brave volunteer, who somehow found this job listing not intended for you. Although there was a way out planned for you, I have a feeling that's not what you want. I have a feeling that you are right where you want to be.
No! I want to live! I want to live!
You should never assume, because when you assume, you make an ass of you and me.
What I'm basically trying to say here is that Fazbear and we can't assume that this mysterious messenger is evil because they seem very manipulative.
What you might not know is that this person who's been sending you messages has been hacking into your personal files too.
I'm sure there's an explanation for that. According to the therapist, the messenger Vanessa has been communicating with has hacked into her personal files and now has full details about her life. That is a bit alarming. So how does Vanessa respond to this revelation?
You already knew?
Once again, we have Scott and STRL Studios being very clever here. The therapist says what you might not know is implying that she is unsure if Vanessa knows this messenger has hacked into her files. Considering Vanessa's reaction, yeah, it would seem that the might not know is actually fully aware. But what are these personal files that the therapist refers to? Well, we don't know. It's very unclear what she is referring to. We have yet another example of Five Nights at Freddy's vague wording. I mentioned this before in my Springlock video. Creator Scott Cawthon is going to be doing this a lot, where he uses words but is very vague when it comes to those words. Either he wants us to figure out what he's actually talking about by using clues, or he's leaving it up to interpretation.
That is for you to decide.
So, has Scott left us enough clues to figure out what these personal files are? Or is he just leaving it up to us to interpret? Well, before I try and solve that, I want to try and knock out another vague word that has been bothering me for quite some time now, and that is the word security. We learned from the Fnaf AR emails that Vanessa works in security, which, yeah, makes sense. She's a security guard at the Pizzaplex.
That is the security guard. She can help.
No, I don't trust her.
And the emails also says that she got a transfer from security to security. So she worked in security at one location, but transferred to a different place to work at security once again. So one could say she has experience working in security. But one of the duffel bags would suggest the opposite.
Marked for deletion interview notes. As requested, here are my notes on today's Chief Security Officer interview. While Vanessa seemed eager and bright, she doesn't appear to have any relevant background experience. I realize the recommendation came from the top, but we need someone who has run security for a facility of this scale. I do not recommend her for this position.
So Vanessa appears to not have any relevant background experience working in security, but she got transferred from security to security? That's weird, but it seems this interviewer was right, as we have another message where it appears to confirm that Vanessa doesn't know what to do when one of the animatronic attractions is stolen.
Stolen property security report. Well, somehow someone broke into a Rockstar Row display case and stole the wind-up Music Man prototypes. The case was smashed, and there's glass on the floor but no sign of a break-in. Nothing else seems to be missing. I have absolutely no idea how they got into the building, and there's nothing on the security footage. Now what should I do? Should I call the police and report a break-in? Vanessa.
Now, when you look at this message, you could say, yeah, this message is proof that Vanessa doesn't have any experience being a security guard. She doesn't even know whether to call the police to report a break-in. But if you analyze this message from a different perspective, it tells a different story. She said that someone had stolen something, but there were no signs of a break-in, and that there's nothing on the security footage. The police can't do anything about that until you get more information. You are just wasting their time and yours. Vanessa isn't asking if she should call the police because she doesn't know what to do. She asked for permission if she should even get the police involved.
Local authorities?
Unfortunately, this duffel bag message doesn't help us to know what exactly is happening with Vanessa. We need more clues. Vanessa in Retro CD1 describes her job as...
What issue? I've been doing my job. I come in and sit at my desk and do my work.
And in Retro CD5, she said...
I'm not in the tech department. I just type on the computers.
I know that.
It would seem a lot of people confuses her job with the IT department. And in Retro CD11, the therapist had mentioned this.
I know part of your job requires you to do online searches.
So, Vanessa's job description, according to her and the therapist, is that she comes in every day to sit at her desk and type on the computers. Part of her job requires her to do online searches, and she needed to clarify that she doesn't work at the IT department. This doesn't sound like something a security guard would do.
Well, you got me. By all accounts, it doesn't make sense.
We know from the Fnaf AR emails that she works on the 3rd floor at Fazbear Entertainment, along with people like Shonda F. from legal, Jerome K. from accounting, Todd and Cheryl from the office staff, and most importantly, Louis C. from the IT department. All of which, their job is to sit down at a desk and type on the computers.
Coincidence? I think not!
In her emails, she has access to security incident logs. Security incident logs are security-related events, such as login attempts, object access, or someone trying to hack into your account. If that's the case, why does Vanessa need to have access to these logs? And lastly, we have a section in her emails that says internal transfers. So for those who don't know, internal transfers is when an employee moves to a different role, a different location, or both while remaining employed by the same company. Workers who was part of the internship program were permanently getting hired, while others who were in a low-level position managed to get promoted. But the one thing I want you to really pay attention to is the employee known as Christy B. She was in marketing, but has been restructured to work in Fazbear Entertainment's social media content management. Some would say that marketing and social media management is essentially the same, but there is a slight difference in what both of them do. While social media marketing concentrates on creating and executing marketing strategies on a social platform, social media management focuses on the long-term strategy and use of social media. They both work the same way, but still provide drastically different roles to ensure the long-term brand awareness of a company. Fazbear Entertainment is making sure that everyone, for a very long time, understands what type of company they are and not what they are believed to be known for.
that whatever is going on out there, however tragic it may be, has nothing to do with our establishment. It's just all rumor and speculation, people trying to make a buck, you know.
Fake news.
But anyway, Christy B's position is proof that while something may seem the same on a surface level, the further you look into it, those roles are entirely different. The same can be said for Vanessa, as she got transferred from security to security. These two securities are not the same.
We are same, but different. But still same. Ha ha ha. Oh, thank you.
Alright, our clues have been gathered. Individually, they can't tell us anything. But if we combine them together, we can learn what Vanessa's job at Fazbear Entertainment actually is.
Let's do it. Let our powers combine. Earth. Fire. Wind. Water. Heart.
By your powers combined, I am...
Time to send humanity back to the Dark Ages.
Cybersecurity is a modern threat.
The adversary is out there, they're challenging, they're changing all the time.
I reactivated you, I control you.
Invade and infect.
Cybersecurity sees no borders.
This is the new normal, and the threat landscape is always going to continually change.
What's a glitch? Game code. Acting on a pattern. Basically, video game monsters!
Digital security involves the protection of a digital identity, the assets of a person or organization. If any criminals gets a hold of that information, then they can masquerade as any trusted entity.
I found you, Baker. Baker? I think you're the fake hedgehog around here. You're comparing yourself to me? Huh? You're not even good enough to be my friend. I'll make you eat those words!
At the end of the day, great people solve hard problems, and so we need great people to bring their ideas to help us solve all of the hard things in front of us.
You are next generation guardians, the first humans to defend cyberspace.
So our people really are the first line of defense. The ability to be agile and flexible, they work 24/7 across the world.
When we are solving a problem, we're solving it with different mindsets and solving it in different ways.
Locate glitches in your assigned area. Debug them. Reset any damage. And mind wipe whatever stooges witnessed the disturbance.
People into the organization that have the right attitude, that have the capability to learn, the willingness to learn, and a passion for cyber.
If you're going to do cyber, do it at the very best place in the world.
Wow, cybersecurity! Way to step up the game, Fazbear. I know you guys had problems with security in the past. Now, I love how clever Steelwool and Scott was trying to be here. So the position that Vanessa was applying for was Chief Security Officer. You would assume she's applying to be the head security guard of the Pizzaplex, but they already have a person in that position. Whoever that is. So she is applying for a position that is almost equally as high, but still very different. While the head security guard of the Pizzaplex job is to keep the overall physical security of the Pizzaplex safe, Vanessa's position as the chief security officer is to keep the overall digital security of the Pizzaplex safe.
Same, but different. But still same.
I must admit, I'm kind of impressed. Vanessa doesn't look like the type of person to lead a team. She seems very distant. I wonder who else is on this cybersecurity team.
Let's take a look at what we have, shall we?
Wait, that doesn't make any... No. Okay, let me process what I'm looking at here. You mean to tell me you have put the safety of all of your systems, network, data, and employees' information in the hands of one person?
What did he say? You are joking! You have got to be kidding me!
Yeah, sure. I mean, if you spend all day shuffling words around, you can make anything sound bad.
No! God, please, no!
Do you know how mentally messed up that is? To put all of that responsibility in the hands of one person?
What issue? I've been doing my job. I come in and sit at my desk and do my work.
It's say make yourself comfortable, but I think you already are. It looks like you could take a nap.
My work is important. I work a lot.
I know you do. Maybe more than you should. More free time would do you good. Hello, Vanessa. How are you feeling today? You look a little tired. Well, it's been a while since we last spoke. How's your anxiety been? You did so well with your calming protocols when we first worked together. Are you still using those? Yes? Okay, good.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Okay, this is... wow. But it is clear that Fazbear believes cybersecurity is important. But why only have one person in that department? Well, because it's all a matter of control. In the Fazbear fight story Room for One More, our protagonist Stanley is a security guard for this mysterious facility. His job is to make sure that nothing gets out.
What the hell are you talking about?
It's an easy job, as he says. So, what is it that this facility does? Well, he believes it's a factory. He assumes that there must be other workers operating on machinery. But despite working there for a year and a half, he has never laid eyes on another human being.
Red flag!
But it doesn't matter. His job is to come in, sit down at a desk, watch the monitor, and make sure nothing gets out. He doesn't need to know anything else. Sounds familiar?
Wait a minute!
Because this is exactly what is going on with Vanessa. Fazbear Entertainment, while believing the security of its systems is important, doesn't want a whole bunch of people poking around their dirty little closets. And by having one person be their cybersecurity, they can make sure she doesn't see what they don't want her to see.
I try to do what I'm supposed to do.
I know you do. Your supervisor notes that you follow instructions perfectly.
But this is where the problem comes in. By being so secretive about what your security should guard, you are preventing them from doing their job effectively. If Stanley knew exactly what he was preventing from getting out, his fate would have been different. The same is now happening with Vanessa. She's good at her job, yes, but she has no idea what she is protecting or what she is guarding it from. All she knows is that her job is important, which, yes, it is. For whatever reason, the employees of Fazbear Entertainment put all of their information, life, and trust into their hands. They depend on Fazbear to keep them safe, which in turn, Fazbear is depending on Vanessa to keep them safe. But Vanessa can't do her job properly if she doesn't know what she keeps them safe from. If this threat managed to gain access to their information, their credit cards, schedules, emails, social security, their complete identity is now in this person's hands. Their lives becomes increasingly more difficult.
I know part of your job requires you to do online searches, but a routine audit of your search history has revealed that you're doing a little private searching on company time. Is that right?
I get breaks.
That's true. So, on your breaks, it looks like you were shopping for a costume. You purchased some fake fur material. What are you gonna make? What was that? Did you say the costume is a secret? Why is that?
I can't talk about this. He said he would always be watching. He could be here, or there, or anywhere in between.
Is that also a red flag?
Crimson.
Now that we know what the word security truly means, it's time to return to our original question. What is the vague term personal files referring to? We know that Scott Cawthon and Steelwood Studios can leave clues. We just have to find them. In Retro CD5, the therapist had said this.
These are the same files I have here. These files are full of details about your life. Do you know what that means?
In Retro CD3, the therapist said,
Oh, we'll get to know each other in no time. I've read through all your files, so I feel like we've been talking for weeks.
And in Retro CD6,
Good morning. It's good to meet you. I've read your file, so I'm up to speed on what you and your previous therapists have worked on.
Alright, our clues have been gathered. Individually, they can't tell us anything. But if we combine them together, we can learn what these personal files actually is.
Let's do it! Let our powers combine.
It's her therapy session files. I'm not doing another Captain Planet montage for this.
Oh, thank goodness.
So the therapist was right. By gaining access to these files, this messenger knows a lot about Vanessa. So what's going on here? Why isn't Vanessa freaking out right now? Well, remember what Vanessa said at the end of this session?
Lots of people know more than I do. Sometimes I need to listen.
This messenger has information she needs, but before they can give it up, a particular trust needs to be established.
You can't expect me to trust you with such sensitive information right away, can you?
If you're going to win my trust, I'll require more.
The messenger wants to know a lot about Vanessa, to see if she is worthy. And what better way to do that than to have access to her personal therapy files? It's basically the book of you. But there is a considerable risk involved here by doing this. For example, let's get back to Stanley. Stanley's girlfriend Amber had recently broken up with him because, as she puts it, their relationship was as stagnant as a frog's pond.
Harsh but fair.
This has caused Stanley to believe that he will forever be alone. Todd, Stanley's brother-in-law, gives Stanley some much-needed good advice to cheer him up, but he completely negates it the moment he reveals that Amber has already started dating someone else. Well, actually, let me be clear here. Todd believes he saw Amber on a date with someone else. Todd assumes that Amber only broke up with Stanley so she can start going out with this guy. And unlike Stanley, this guy, as he puts it, is tall.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Fit.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
And is a sharp dresser.
Wow, Dad, you destroyed him!
I could make myself sleep, but not yet. Not until I undo what he has done and heal this wound. A wound first inflicted on me, but then one that I let bleed out to cause all of this.
Stanley, she broke up with you because your relationship wasn't going anywhere, not because you wasn't any of those things. Think! Anyway, what makes matters worse is that despite feeling sick and noticing a drastic change in his physical appearance, Stanley refuses to go see a doctor because he believes doctors is what killed his father.
What?
But his sister would suggest the opposite. So, what's going on here? From what I can tell, it would seem that Stanley is under the influence of an illusion disc. The illusion disc is causing Stanley to believe in all of the terrible things his brother-in-law told him. And since the illusion disc distracts your mind's critical thinking and allows your subconscious to take over, Stanley's mind is forced to choose which information he wants to believe in, and he's consistently choosing the wrong one every single time. The illusion disc is kicking Stanley's ass right now. He is being attacked both mentally and physically, but refuses to seek the professional help he desperately needs. Similar to his father, his fate has already been sealed.
Never stood half a chance.
And this is the problem when knowing a little bit about someone. No matter how small, even the simplest of information can be used against them. And since this messenger now has access to Vanessa's files, she, just like Stanley, can now be easily manipulated.
Don't lose control! Don't lose control!
Now tell me, how can you lose something you never had? Patience. Trust is easy to destroy, but it takes time to build. One last test. Prove yourself, and we'll meet to discuss your future.
We know from the last therapy session that Vanessa hates manipulators. So why run the risk? Is this information that this messenger has worth it? Yes, because her job is important. If Vanessa is going to keep the employees of Fazbear Entertainment safe, she needs to know what forces she is up against. But Vanessa is not an idiot. She has been meticulous about what to say regarding her therapy sessions.
Do you ever grow things? No? Do you have a hobby? No? Perhaps we could find one for you, like a sport, no?
She is of no use to me.
One of the many reasons Fazbear Entertainment has so many different therapists under their employ is because they understand that different perspective is crucial to solving any mystery. And when it comes to mysteries, Vanessa stands as one of the most mysterious individuals.
Who are you?
I've been asking the same question.
Yes, this messenger has access to her files, but since she's been so careful, it's still going to be up to them to interpret how they perceive Vanessa. Vanessa has ensured that there is no information in her files that others can use against her. Well, all except one.
I suppose I don't need you to tell me it felt bad to have a parent scare you into saying things that weren't true. He manipulated you. It wasn't your fault. It's really sad. But it's common for one parent to use their child to hurt the other parent. I know your mum after she lost the custody case.
Wait, what was that? Go back.
I know your mum after she lost the custody case.
That's it. Whatever happened to her mother is the key to manipulating Vanessa. Vanessa blames herself for what happened. We could have used that information against her, but since we don't know what happened to her mother, we can't. That is why Vanessa is not worried about this messenger having access to her files, because the one thing that can be used against her has been removed from the records by Vanessa herself.
Clever girl.
But while we can't use these files to manipulate her, we can use them to learn a lot about her character. For instance, in my Retro CD3 Explain video, we had discovered this. That lie that Bill told Vanessa to say was so unbelievable that this prompted the court to launch an investigation on Vanessa's mother, and whatever they found, they deemed her unworthy to take care of a child. Vanessa's testimony isn't what got Vanessa's mother to lose. It was her own past that did. This is why she got into cybersecurity. She doesn't want what happened to her mother to happen to anyone else. She wants to ensure that no one could ever use people's personal information against them. She doesn't care what secrets they may be hiding. She doesn't care how dark their past may be. The only thing she believes in is that no one should ever have that much power over someone. Vanessa is the perfect person to be Fazbear Entertainment cybersecurity.
Honestly, I couldn't have done better myself.
So, do we have a deal?
Indeed. You and I are so very much alike. It seems only natural that we should be partners.
But anyway, these are just my interpretation of Five Nights at Freddy's. There are a million of theories out there, and all I'm doing is presenting you with my own. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and remember,
there is more going on here than you realize.